All right, what's going on out there, world? What's going on out there? It's your boy Top Dog, aka Anthony Fry. We coming to you live and direct from the snowy streets of Chicago. And we got some things we got to talk about. I started out on this journey a while ago, and I have to admit that I've been fairly inconsistent with posting content due to fears and other things that I had going on, but I'm back on my journey for spiritual enlightenment, higher levels of understanding, and I know that there are people out there that are just like me, that are searching for truth, searching for their true identity, searching for their purpose in life. And life always has a way of giving us a unexpected blow, a gut punch. Things happen, distractions happen that knock us off our course, knock us off our path. But if you truly want to open up that third eye in your life, there's nothing that's going to stop you. There's nothing that's going to hold you back from finding that. Wise words have been written that says, if you seek, you shall find. If you knock on that door, it will be answered. Not it might be answered, or you might find it. If you seek it, you'll find it. So I've been on a road, and I've been listening to certain brothers on YouTube, like one Soul Immortal has been one that I've been connecting with in a spiritual way for higher levels of understanding. And the brother has tapped into a lot of the things that have been going on in my mind, a lot of the thoughts that I've been having, and he's put me on a path to where I'm now again searching for the knowledge and true higher levels of understanding. So once again, I'm going to be starting out on this mission, this Facebook mission, and putting out content for those of us that are out here searching for knowledge, and distractions come in here and there along the way, and they kind of bump us off. So let's talk about it. I've been reading a lot lately. I've always read, but in particular now, I've been reading a lot. I've read a couple of books. Over the past month, I've read about 5 books and counting over the month of January. And it's so very true about the saying that says, if you seeking, you're going to find it. I'm seeking out this knowledge, and it's coming to me. And one of the things that I want to talk about on today is what we're feeding our mind and how that plays an important part in who we are, the journey that we're on, and how some of the things that we feed our mind are distractions to where it is that we're going. I read this book recently, and it was called The Compound Effect. Compound Effect. If you guys haven't read this book and you're on that path for enlightenment and you're searching for your true identity, your true self, your true purpose, this is one of the books that I recommend you read. And one of the things that stood out in particular to me in this book was feeding what we're feeding our mind and trying to tear down the old habits that we have and establish new ones, replace them with better habits. We're going to go into that a little bit later, but right now, what I wanted to touch upon was something that he said in that book that I never thought about until I tried it. Going through this life, they say sometimes you hear something, but then you really hear something. So this is what the brother said in the book. he said that what you feed your mind, what you put into on your dome, about 30 minutes to an hour before you go to bed, your brain processes that information throughout the night. And as we all know, when you fall into a slumber or a sleep, your brain goes into another dimension and it processes things in a way that is different from when you're awake. Because of all the distractions and all the outside noise, the brain has a time now when you're resting to not have to battle against all of the things that are going on in your everyday, all of the distractions, all the noise that you're up against. The brain has now time to process information in that other dimension. Now, let me say this really quick and give a real quick disclaimer. This video that I'm making and these videos that I make are not for the 85%. And when I say the 85%, I'm talking to those of you who just on this earth to exist. You just go through the day by day, you in the rat race and you comfortable with that. Live your life. Do you. Most people do as most people do. I'm talking about those that are in that 15% or that 5%. This is who I'm talking to. So the 85%, y'all go watch Love and Hip Hop or something like that. Go watch something ratchet, feed your mind all that garbage, and just go do what you've been doing. Just go do the things that you've been doing that have not produced any fruit in your life thus far. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Go do that. Turn me off. Don't watch this video. Cut it off now. I'm not talking to you. I know you're a different type of audience, and you got plenty out here that are going to keep you entertained and keep you in the space that they want you to be in, not me, and not the audience that I'm talking to, not the tribe that I'm talking to right now. Okay? So I tried this. You know, I have been going through life. As one of those people that needed to fall asleep to the TV. I'm guilty. I admit that. Something about the TV up until this point, kind of soothed my mind and helped me to fall asleep. But I wasn't understanding that I was putting garbage in, so garbage was coming out. So now that I'm on this spiritual cleansing, I have to change that. And one of the things that I decided to do after reading this book was cut the TV out of my life. All right? Now, I know that that's going to be hard for you, and I know some of you are going to say, well, some of you are going to have doubts already before you even tried it. And that's what conditioning does. Conditioning tells you that you can't even do something before you've even tried it or you even started out on that journey. So how do you ever know that you could or you couldn't do it? So, cold turkey, I says, just to set realistic and attainable goals, which is a part of the SMART goals, I said I'm going to cut TV time down to 10 hours a week. So I have cut out television throughout the weekdays, period. I don't watch TV at all throughout the weekdays. So I was reading this book. I was reading this book, and that resonated with me about an hour or half an hour before you go to bed. Your brain processes the last things, the last thoughts, the last words that were inputted into it, and it processes that throughout the night. So on this day in particular, I went to bed and I tried it. I read for about an hour. I was reading for about 2 or 3 hours or so. But immediately after that, I didn't go to my bedroom and turn the television on like I normally would, I just went straight to bed. And true enough, as I found throughout the night, when I was in and out of consciousness, my brain was processing what I had read. Dimensions into the third eye. Now, you can take this information and you can do with it as you will. But if I got some 15%ers on here, some 5%ers on here, now listen, I'm not, that's what I'm moving towards. I don't want to be like everybody else. I wasn't born to be ordinary like everybody else here on this earth. I wasn't born to do what everybody else does on earth. I don't follow the pack. While they zigging, I'm zagging. I'm against the grain. I don't go with the grain. All right? So these are things that I'm striving for. I'm striving for putting things on my brain and on my mental that are going to help me reach higher levels of understanding. This is a statement that I learned from my boy, Soul Immortal. There are no miracles in life, just higher levels of understanding. So if every day you're looking towards your purpose, then what is your reasonable service? Your reasonable service is to study to show thyself approved, right? And reach higher levels of understanding so that you can become closer to the Most High. This is how we do this. So I tried it out, and lo and behold, it worked. Then to take the experiment one step further, the next day I read for about an hour. Then I went into my bedroom, I turned the television on, and I fell asleep to I set the sleep timer to about 30 minutes. And once again, as I slept and I slumbered, coming in and out of consciousness, guess what? The mind recalled what I had heard on the television 30 minutes before, not the hour that I read before that. It recalled none of that. It recalled those things that I had heard, because I'm not looking at the television when I'm going to sleep. What I heard, brain processed that, and as I was in and out of consciousness, all of those things were being recalled in my mind. So I had to ask myself a very important question at that point. Is what I was listening to on TV, is it helping me? Or is it hindering me from getting to that next level of understanding and therefore having greater success in life? And you already know what the answer was. So now when I look at a television program, I'm looking at it through another lens. And I'm asking, is this content helping me or is it hindering me? And immediately I'm changing the channel. Now I'm looking at TV with a different purpose. I love sports, so it's going to take me a little bit longer to wean myself off of that. But then I'll know when I've arrived, when I can not watch a sporting event, something like the Super Bowl or big events like that. I'll know when I've arrived to the most highest level of understanding, when I could just cut it out. But I've set realistic goals that are attainable to me. And this is important when you're setting goals, to not bite off more than you can chew. If you know you're a big TV head and you can't cut that out your life altogether, then set a goal. Set a goal like I did. 10 hours a week, 20 hours a week. But also ask yourself, while you're watching whatever it is that you're watching, does it contribute to where you want to go? And if it doesn't, we need to cut it out. So I want to hop on here. I'm not going to elaborate these videos. I got a couple other subjects that I wanted to elaborate on, as far as why the portal of learning is open I want to share these things because I know there's many more people out here that are just like me, that are going through, and I want to share my experience from step to step to step to step. So, let's summarize this thing up. What you feed in your mind is important all throughout the day. Okay? We should be filling ourselves up with those things that are going to help us move to the next level. See, a lot of us want to go and talking about, I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that, but you ain't willing to put in the work. I'm guilty of that. I'm not sitting here preaching to nobody. But when you seeking, you're going to find. When you're knocking on doors, they're going to be open. It's better to seek than to not seek. It's better to do and put something in action than to not put something in action. And what we're feeding our minds, I'm talking about throughout the entire day, should line up with your purpose and should line up with where you're going. All the way down, all the way from when you wake up to when you lay it down at night. I'm going to always give it up and let you guys know that I'm thankful, very much thankful to be alive on today with my life, my health, and my strength. But I want to drop that. I want to drop that. Feed your mind in relationship to where you want to go, from sunup to sundown. Always be thankful for what it is that you have, and always aspire to be better today than you were yesterday. Always. That's your reasonable and righteous, that's your reasonable service. If you're still here, you should be aspiring to be better today than you were yesterday if you were here. So you shouldn't be putting garbage in to your spiritual realm here. This is your temple, your spiritual realm. You shouldn't be putting garbage into your spiritual realm, because guess what? Garbage in equals garbage out. Your mind, your spirit, your well-being, all of that, you have to feed it. You have to feed it, and you can't put garbage in because garbage is going to come back out. So start to practice feeding your mind. Feeding your mind spiritual things. Feeding your mind things that are going to help you grow. Things that are going to bring you higher levels of understanding, rather than things that are going to diminish you and keep you in a rut and keep you stuck and keep you in that place where you know you don't want to be, to where you feel incomplete, to where you feel unappreciated, to where you feel all of these things that you feel. Get out of that place. And I'll leave you with this. And I'm gonna talk on the next video about this. A couple of things on the upcoming videos. A couple of things that I'm going to be talking about. Here's another thing that I've read, and I've only come into this information because I've been seeking it. I've been seeking this information, and it's coming, and it's aligning up with where my heart is and where my mind is, and that's a dangerous thing to those out there that don't want that to happen. Right? Here's a thought. Here's a thought that I'm going to leave you with, and I'll do the next video on this. Nothing in life happens to us. Rather, everything in life happens because of us. Now, I got that from reading The 10X Effect by Grant Cardone. He dropped that knowledge. You see? And also what this teaches me is you cannot get all of your information from one source. For all of you Bible totals out here that say, oh, the Bible is the only book that I need. You keep on that path. You keep that way. Information and knowledge can come from anywhere. And you're going to put yourself in a box and say, well, I only take my information from the Bible. I'm going to be talking about that in the video too. My divorce from the church. That's going to be another video. But back to the point that I just made before. Nothing happens to us but because of us. So many people are walking around programmed into thinking that when something happens to you, you automatically have to go searching for the person that did it. That's what all of that does. That's what all of that religion and all of that stuff, that's what it does. It teaches you to go searching someplace else for the reason why something happened to you when it was because of you. It was because of a decision you made, good, bad, or indifferent. And the more you seek knowledge of self and the more you want to become successful, you take on traits that say, you know what? I was the cause for this happening to me. This is the only way that you could be successful, because if you hold yourself accountable, chances are that's not going to happen to you again, or you're going to recognize when it's happening and you're going to be able to make adjustments. But if you're constantly searching somewhere else, somewhere high, somewhere low, underneath a rock, over here in the corner, over there, everywhere else but yourself, you'll never grow, you'll never obtain knowledge of self, and you'll stay in a rut. All right, so that's going to be next video. Things don't happen to you, but rather they happen because of you. And this is from the 10X Effect, Grant Cardone. Go pick up that book as well. So today we were talking a little bit about the compound effect and things that you should be putting into your soul, into your mind, and feeding your mind for higher levels of understanding. Because again, there are no miracles, only higher levels of understanding. So this your boy Top Dog, aka Anthony Fry. I'm sounding off. I hope you got a little bit. I hope you're a little bit better from this video. We could all do it together. We could all eat. We could all teach. We could all learn. We could all uplift one another, and we could all live in peace, in harmony, and in the way that we were designed to live and inhabit this earth. So I'm signing off until my next video. Peace and love. Stay focused, live life, and maintain.